everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we are going to be having a post-game reaction of an absolute eruption. Just an explosion of Blue Jays offense in their 18-5 spring training victory over the Detroit Tigers. This game was not televised, and we've been wanting to do a lot more post-game reactions on this channel anyway, so this just felt like such a good game to break down and get into, especially considering the Jays kicked ass.
Absolutely, guys. And there's a lot of storylines here that we're going to cover through. Like, literally everyone kicked ass today, except for a few pitchers, of course. And we'll definitely get into that, folks. So let's go look over at Game Day on MLB.com right now. 18-5, one incredible game. Not a lot of super major starters right here. I think the best were Kiermaier, Jansen, and Biggio being the top three starters for Toronto Blue Jays. But while they did well today, there was some other guys that were amazing. Like, but right now in the thumbnail, you got Vinny Capra, who popped off for, it was 7 RBIs?
7 RBIs.
7 RBIs today.
That is a ridiculous amount of RBIs. And this is some storyline that we really want to talk about in this kind of post-game reaction, is the fact that there is one final roster spot here that there are multiple guys vying for. Vinny Capra could be one of those guys, especially when he has performances like this. 7 ribbies, batting .364 over spring training so far. So you got him. You got Nathan Lucas, who did well today and is also kind of fighting for that role. Otto Lopez, another guy, right? He's batting .417 in spring training. This is an exceptional problem to have, because you have all these guys who clearly want that final spot so bad, and they're showing why they deserve it right now.
Yeah, and obviously there's some guys that are like preferred and some guys that are not preferred over each other. Like, I'm hearing a lot of good things right now to camp via the broadcast, via the radio broadcast today. That Otto Lopez is looking like a favorite of John Schneider. He's looking athletic. He's got great speed and instincts on the base paths. He can really control the barrel of his bat, hit the ball, spray it all over the place, and he's got great defensive flexibility. Originally, he came up as an infielder, like a shortstop being a main position of his, but now they're trying him out in the outfield because they want to have as much versatility in that bench. So Otto Lopez being that fourth bench guy, does that seem like something that could be pretty attractive to you?
I think it definitely could happen, man, because we've seen Lopez be that guy before, right?
Yeah.
He's come to the majors. You know, like, he's been with the team, so clearly they do have an affinity towards Otto Lopez, and he's kind of at that age now where it's time to leave the prospect system, and if you're going to become a major league player, then this is the moment, right? So, especially considering he's batting .417 in spring training, and based on the way that they are speaking about him, I think he's got a real good shot at locking that up. Granted, I mean, if Capra keeps having 7 RBI games, that's gonna put a wrench in the plans.
And look, like Vinny Capra, we saw him come up with the big league club for a very, very quick moment with the Blue Jays last year, and he didn't really get to see his expectation really, or his potential get hit.
He didn't have enough time to show what he's capable of.
Not enough time, and like just like Lopez, you know, these guys are kind of on the fringe. Like, the expectations aren't to come out and be a superstar, but to complement the roster. And today was a day where I wasn't even considering Capra before this, but now after this performance, and the talk of the town is, look, he's got really good back control, you know, really good baseball instinct kind of player that can wear down a pitcher, but now he's showcasing the power with the home run, just giving him further advantage and a further reason for the Blue Jays to call him up to the big leagues.
Totally agree, man. Speaking about just what he did today, man, like, there was a 13-run inning. Capra in that inning. That is when he hit his grand slam. Am I correct in that?
3-run home run.
3-run home run. Excuse me.
Slam?
I think he also hit a grand slam as well, though, didn't he?
Vinny?
I thought he did.
He just had 1 home run.
Only 1 home run. Okay, my mistake, guys. There was a lot of runs scored today, so it is difficult to keep up with everything. But 13 runs in an inning, that is spring training if you've ever seen it. But obviously, we love it. I'm very upset that this game was not televised, because this would have been kick-ass.
Oh, it would have. It was just batting around the lineup. You know, one guy after another getting on, good ABs, putting the ball in play. You saw him go through the lineup. We had 17, I think it was 17 batters went to the plate.
Insanity.
And one of the batters in that inning that came up pretty clutch was Danny Jansen and Cavan Biggio.
Yeah.
Now, these guys are looking good. Jansen got his first hit. Love to see that. 2 RBI single from Danny Jansen. And how about Cavan Biggio? We're talking about a guys, competing for that last spot on the roster. But we've talked about it again. Cavan Biggio, he's not slowing down.
No.
Still trying to fight for that second base spot. It's a reality where he starts and wins a starting job through spring training.
It's possible, man. I think that he's going to have a tough go at it based on the fact that Espinal is also doing just as good, right? He didn't play in today's game, but he is also kicking ass in spring training. So that's kind of the main issue for Biggio. The main block right there is, well, if Espinal is also doing as good as me, I know that Espinal's defense is better, so they're probably going to try it out. But I do think that Biggio right now is showing why he is valuable to this ball club. I love that Kiermaier and Biggio and Espinal, they're all starting out really, really hot. And I love to see it because that's going to be the bottom of our lineup. There could be a reality one day where they're all playing. Kiermaier, Biggio, and Espinal, they're all playing, right? And that's going to be like our 7, 8, 9. That's the third inning of work. And it's really good to know that this isn't just a nothing inning. It's not just like great, like let's wait until we get to George Springer again. No, they can actually do work. They're showing that they are major league caliber players who can score runs and can come clutch. And I'm so happy that Cavan Biggio, right now anyways, looks like he's taking a bit of a step up.
Hopefully, it is short sample size. We don't want to say that this is the truth. Like this is totally factual.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
but it's good to note.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to note, because this is something that is factual. Kevin Kiermaier coming off of that hip surgery, and he's looking good. He legged out a triple today.
Totally.
That's the speed. That's the tool that Kevin Kiermaier brings. And the fact that he's legged out a triple in spring training is a good sign that he's healthy and he's ready to play. And on a total side note, off the field, he is so enthusiastic to be a Toronto Blue Jay. He was talking to Ben Wagner today on the broadcast, just beforehand, and was just so expressive of how much he's excited to play ball and competitive ball with the Toronto Blue Jays. It's good to see.
Couldn't agree more, man. 66 people in here. Shout out to everybody watching. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. We would really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel. Eric Shepard coming in here and making a just amazing comment, which I completely agree with. All the guys we had questions about are performing well. Couldn't agree
100%.
more, man. And, you talk about Kiermaier's speed. This is something that just came to me right now. Do you think that this could be a season where we see, Kevin Kiermaier, the old, I think he's 31, 32, 33 years old. Right. Is he going to be stealing bags for us this year?
I mean, he should be stealing bags.
Bigger bases. He's got the speed.
And if it all comes down to the health, of course. As long as he stays healthy, he'll be good. You could be playing every day, but still not healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it all comes down to that. I'd like to see maybe 20 bags. I'm trying to get Baseball Reference up, but for some odd reason, it's not loading to look at his previous stats. But it would be nice to see what he could potentially do.
I completely agree, man. And I do want the Toronto Blue Jays to put an emphasis on running this season. I think you're going to see a lot of squads go in that direction. I mean, bigger bases and pitch clock. It just makes sense. It's part of the game that MLB is trying to get back. So if you can become the team that is the best at running all over people, that's just an added advantage. You get somebody on base. Now the pitcher not only is completely worried about that, but now they got to worry about the clock. It's a whole thing, man. I really hope that we go in that direction.
Yeah, I agree. Well, one thing I want to try to transition to right here is, while the offense was really good,
let's talk pitching.
The pitching. Look, 5 runs. Not great. You're not pitching our guys right now, like the guys. But you got a couple of them in here. Someone to note, Hutchison coming back with the Blue Jays. Not a great start for Hutchison. He's got a 6.75 ERA so far in spring training.
Realistically, only one earned run that he gave up here. I mean, your stats are going to look extremely bloated because, you gave up 1 earned run, which really isn't anything, but you did it in 2 innings. So we can't really see the level out there. So
in 2 innings, 41 pitches, that's not on pace for good. But what are we expecting? What's the expectation for Hutchison?
Not a whole lot.
You're going to be coming up to the big league level if we are severely injured. So what are we hoping for at that point? Just give us any innings.
Just give us anything.
Give us 4 to 5 innings.
I think the biggest takeaways here for me is that Jimmy Garcia, He looked good.
He looked great.
And I saw on Twitter people were talking about his fastball. Like, I think it was reaching to 97, 98 miles per hour. So that is absolutely something to note, that he is feeling good, locked in, ready to go, and got an inning of work there. Fernandez.
Yeah, one of our guys.
Deal.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, man. That was a super underrated pickup that we had in free agency, right? Like, I think I made a minute monologue on it, but it really did kind of fall under the radar there. But that guy is looking like a guy who might be able to make some contributions come freaking regular season.
I agree. And then classic Thornton, of course, just a 1 ERA, one earned run. Like, it is what it is. Also, shout out Victoria for delivering the Coors Light seltzers on the day of the Saturdays of the boys.
Victory drink here, everybody.
Yeah, a little
Cheers to
victory
having
drink.
an awesome weekend, folks.
Cheers.
And 18 runs for the Toronto Blue Jays.
But not so much of a victory drink for Thomas Hatch.
No.
Thomas Hatch, I don't want to spend too much negativity on this, but this is a storyline that is progressing in the downwards direction.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 earned runs, a 43.2 ERA so far this spring. Like, I had hope when he first came up in 2020, when we were depleted of pitching. Thomas Hatch had an opportunity to start for the Toronto Blue Jays. Then he went to the bullpen, didn't perform there. Then he went to AAA when he started bringing some other guys up. And every time he came up for the big leagues for us in the last few years, he just hasn't been anywhere good.
He hasn't been the guy that we traded for many years ago, right? Like, I remember, because he was part of the Stroman deal, correct?
No, he wasn't.
Who was he part of that? Or that was K.
That was K.
That was K, excuse me. Yeah, that was K. My mistake there, guys. But
who also didn't.
Who also kind of the same. That's why I confused them. It's like basically. But
they
were
around they were in the same timeline. That they were coming up trying to be competing for the starting role.
Competing for that role, right? I feel like Hatch. It's just it hasn't gone great for him. I really do hope for the best, man. But this just feels like a guy where you got to stick him in AAA, and until he can show a consistency down there, and I'm talking months of consistency. Yeah. I don't see him having a spot at the major league level right now.
No, not at all. And, then we had Francis after him, who was solid, 1/3, 1 1/3 pitched. And that was kind of it. Those are the big takeaways from the game. You love to see the boys do that. Obviously, 18 runs is very hard to get, and it's a very spring training game. I actually feel bad for the Detroit pitchers because they burned through 2 pitchers before even recording it out in that inning.
That is insanity.
Incredible.
That is insanity, man. Those pitchers, they got to be going through it right now. But don't feel bad, guys. This is Toronto Blue Jays offense you're dealing with. It's going to happen every time now and again. I want to take one moment before we hop off here and just speak on the Guerrero injury. Adam made a little video about it this morning. He kind of gave his 2 cents. I have not had an opportunity to do that. So as we know, Guerrero, he's going to be missing the World Baseball Classic. That sucks, guys.
Yes,
I really wanted to see him there. I wanted to see him on a team with like all of those other superstars smacking home runs. But clearly, he's just not feeling up to the task right now. And at the end of the day, as much as I would love to watch Vladdy Guerrero Jr. smacking home runs for the Dominican Republic, I'd much rather watch him smacking home runs for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And then we did get word, in addition to my comments earlier, we did get word it was Vladdy's decision. It wasn't a team decision. It wasn't a World Baseball Classic decision. He decided that he put the priorities of, I need to have a good season for the Toronto Blue Jays over World Baseball Classic, which let's be honest, from his perspective, he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, he would love to be healthy and play for Dominican Republic, or play for his home nation. So it is sad. I feel for him because I wanted him to go and kick ass.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, I said this literally yesterday. We were live talking about this when the information just broke that he was a little bit hurt, a little bit banged up. Didn't seem so serious back then. But I said, well, I trust Guerrero to know his body better than anybody, right? If he's going to play in the World Baseball Classic, I'm sure that he's good to go. Clearly, he did not feel like that was the case, so shout out to Vladdy Guerrero Jr. for making that tough decision, dude. Rest up, chill, ice that thing, elevate it. I am no doctor, but I'm just speculating words right now. So, do all of the things and listen to your trainers, big man, because we need you back 110%. And this is also one of those things, right, where if you do continue to play, it seems like a nothing right now. We're probably not going to hear about it in the media, but Vlad's going to know about it, right? And it's just like if it changes the swing just even a little bit, that's going to alter how he plays.
I might for him, like, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to suggest what Vlad should do with his knee, but I can expect him sitting out for a good week.
I agree.
Until the inflammation is completely gone, and he can put maximum weight on his knees yet again.
Yeah, I don't want you to be thinking about this. I don't want to. I want your head to be in baseball land, not my knee hurts. You know?
Yeah.
Guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about today's ball game? We're actually going to be live tomorrow for the entire ball game, watching it along with you. So mark it in your calendars, guys. We want to see you here at 1 p.m. watching along with us.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always, go Jays, go!